You used to be a security guard. You used to be in
Hmm.
real estate sales. Now you're in tech sales. So we've got a
Yeah.
lot to unpack here today. So why don't you take us back some of your experiences and how you found your way in tech sales?
So, in terms of my experience, I've been in sales for a little bit. I started off as a sales associate at Home Depot, eventually finding my way into financial insurance. I was selling financial insurance, like life insurance. Um, that led me into real estate as well. And I was doing security. Yeah, so I've had so many hats throughout my experience of working jobs, but the way I got into tech sales was I watched a video with Cyrus and Anthony O'Neill, and you know they mentioned course careers and how affordable it can be to get into tech sales. So it really piqued my interest, and then I started just doing a whole bunch of research on tech sales and what it has to entail. And I even came across some of your videos, Trent.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Subscribe now.
Oh yeah, definitely subscribed. Um, but yeah, I love the content that you put out. It really makes the playing field like super simple. Like as long as you're putting in the effort, you can
That's it.
excel. And I like the fact that tech sales includes a base salary and the commission.
Mm.
So it's not just purely commission. Um, so I really like that fact. So that's really what piqued my interest in. I only found out about tech sales in towards the end of November, surprisingly.
And speaking of putting in the work, first and foremost, you might be the most versatile person I've spoken with in a while. Doing security, selling tools at Home Depot, selling houses on the weekends, and then now
You're funny.
now you're selling tech. But you were telling me once we were getting started, Ari, that you made 85 calls today. You're like, I was putting the work on the phones. I'm like, how many calls you make? You're like, 85. I'm like, okay, when we get to 100, now we're starting to push it. How did that feel making 85 calls today? Because I imagine you've been ramping your way up here, trying to figure it out.
Well, so this was my first week actually being on the floor sourcing leads. So it felt much better than I would say yesterday, because yesterday I was at 75 calls. So
Mm,
I'm every day trying to prep myself to make more calls, to at least be at a bare minimum 100 calls
let's
a day.
go.
Yes.
Let's go. Well,
But yeah, it's
that's what we
great.
need. That's what we need to get to. What was it about? I know everyone mentions Cyrus. Everyone mentions this Anthony O'Neill.
Yes.
Apparently, they are the figureheads of tech sales and course careers and all that. But what was it about tech sales that drew you in? Because you were doing real estate at a real company. You were
Right.
doing some other things as well. You got a lot of options. Why tech sales?
So what brought me into tech sales, I invest in big tech, well, like Google, Amazon, Facebook, all of them. So when I found out about the industry tech sales, it really piqued my interest because tech is a very big industry and it's very innovative. The tech is going to be here forever. So it really made sense for me to at least give it a shot and really learn more about tech sales, because I wanted to get into tech, but I wasn't quite sure which part of tech I wanted to be in. And tech sales just seemed like the best fit because I already have a background in sales. And, we're really just talking to people on the phone. And
Hmm.
this is similar to what I do with real estate. So it just kind of fit like a glove for me to just, really dive more into tech sales.
And then when you were starting to learn about tech sales, you were probably confronted with the question, well, I've got sales experience, but I don't necessarily have tech experience. So how do I break in? And then that leads us to course careers, which we'll talk a bit about here today. But how did you discover course careers, and how did that help impact your trajectory to set you up for success?
Well, in terms of how did I find course careers, like I said before, Cyrus and Anthony O'Neill really kind of set the playing field for at least the name drop. that was when I first heard of Course Careers. And I did some research on Careerist and the other, or Coursera as well. But Course Careers just felt like the most affordable and fastest way to get into tech. And when I look back on it, I'm really glad that I chose Course Careers because the community is like amazing. Like there's so many people a part of Course Careers that you could lean on for advice and tips and really get your foot in the door in terms of tech sales. So I really believe, Course Careers is the real reason I'm here now.
How did the community help?
Well, in terms of material, getting through the course, staying motivated, they had a Discord chat where people that already are in their roles, they'll chat in there often, really instill us with motivation and inspiration just to keep going and pushing forward. And if we had any questions, study materials, they already had a study guide for us to really lay down the playing field. So, it wasn't as difficult. And they're really great in terms of just giving out information on what jobs are also hiring, interview tips, the whole nine, getting your LinkedIn profile set up. Their community is really great.
Yeah, I'm looking at your LinkedIn right here. You got the big account executive role on there. You got the former realtor. We're going to have to send you some leads. You get sell some houses on the side.
That would be perfect.
What was it about Course Careers that you think prepared you to land the role? Because you had the experience, to your point. You know what it's like to roll up the sleeves, to prospect a little bit. What do you think you learned in Course Careers that allowed you to separate yourself, to go right to account executive? Because that's pretty unique. A lot of folks would maybe go for an SDR, sales development rep role, but you've gone right into it seems like a closing type role along with prospecting. So
Yes.
Can you talk about what skills you learned in Course Careers that has equipped you to get the job? And I know you're still learning on the job.
Yes.
So let's focus on that stage.
So typically, mainly what I learned with Course Careers is how to find the perfect buyer persona and just how to source those leads using LinkedIn Navigator and different forms of prospecting, how to talk to the clients that you prospect, and certain books like how to influence people, fanatical prospect.
Oh.
Those books were really key, and I really love that fanatical prospecting book. It really instills the effort and what it really takes to really excel in the role. And the email template that we had to do for the project, I feel like that really even put me in the role as a project, but it kind of helped me really understand, like, okay, what is the role that I really have to do and how can I really excel in this role? All the tools that I learned in Course Careers, it really set me up to be able to do this job effectively without any surprises. Like, I knew exactly what to expect, and really it was just knowing my company software in and out.
What do you hope that a career in tech sales will provide you?
I really hope that it provides me with the lifestyle that I want to live in terms of financially being independent and buying my first home. I want to be able to help my family as well. And I've told a lot of people about, tech sales as well. So I feel like that's another avenue that can be passive income. But I really want to be able to inspire people that maybe want to, change careers or look into something different and try it out, So I really want to be able to inspire others as well. But
if you could give yourself advice, let's say 4 or 5 months ago, you were doing real estate. Maybe you're still doing a little bit of real estate. I know you were starting to learn the Course Careers. Take yourself back to right before you decided to invest in Course Careers and learn the information. You said you were doing a lot of research. What concerns did you have about really committing and saying, you know what, I'm going to do whatever it takes to make this happen. I'm going to invest the money. I'm going to put the time in. Because I think a lot of people, they listen to the free intro course, which we'll link below if anyone wants to go learn more. But then they say, okay, do I really want to go for this? So what advice would you have for them?
So the advice I would have for them is really just take that leap of faith. Because what held me on the fence was it felt too good to be true. And I feel like that may be the common theme with people when they hear about Course Careers, because, you know, people are breaking into tech in 2 weeks, a month, 3 months or less. And it's like they're making like over 50,000, 60,000, up to six figures. And it's like, wait, they don't have a degree. Some of these people don't have a degree. And it's like, so it's possible. And once I started telling myself it's possible, then I started telling myself I can do it as well. So it's like, if they can do it, I can do it too. And I feel like if you think on that time and change your mindset on just what is available and what is out there, I feel like more people would be more intrigued to at least, you know, get into the course and get a job in tech sales.
Now that you're starting to make some money consistently and you see this future ahead, you want to become financially independent, buy a house, help your family. I did notice that you talk about investment management, and we're not going to give everyone stock picks. I know you've revealed some of your big tech favorites there, but how do you think about having maybe a little bit more steady income with a base salary coming in and then just managing your money at this stage of your life?
So you're asking, how do I feel about that?
Yeah, just how do you think about it? Because clearly you like to invest. Not everyone's coming up here saying, you know what, usually we're focused on tech sales, and that's what we wanted to cover. But I think that this is just an interesting side topic about money and now making it and now thinking about investing it to set yourself up in the future. Because not a lot of people are thinking about that.
Yes. I like to think in the future because I've seen, you know, because I've worked so many different jobs, I've seen people where they're pushing 70 to 80 years old and they're still working. And that to me seems very scary, that you were forced to work and, you know, you don't, because Social Security isn't going to pay for all of your expenses and the luxury or, you know, the type of lifestyle people want to live realistically. And when it comes to that, people don't think about investing and really setting up for retirement or even think about retiring early. So these are things that I feel like, you know, it's really important to me. And I feel like this job will be able to set me up further and faster in terms of getting where I need to be financially and setting up my future and legacy, you know, for when I have kids. I feel like it's important. Everyone should be thinking about, you know, what can happen, because, you know, the big tech layoffs, so many people get laid off. You don't even know it's coming, and you want to be, you know, you want to have some sort of security, 3 to 6 months of expenses, something just to get on your feet if anything bad was to happen. And, you know, some people don't think on that until it actually happens. I like to be proactive and really plan for the future. So if anything like that was to happen, I know that I'm going to be good, you know, and as long as you're doing everything you have to do, you're putting in the right effort, and you've built a nice connection with multiple people, it should be fairly easy to get another job. But, you know, I still like to make sure I have expenses covered and just money in case anything were to happen.
Let's tell the people how to make more money. They got to make more calls, as you know. So let's end on this. What is your plan to push 100 calls a day?
So my plan to push 100 calls a day is really sourcing a lot more leads. So we're really getting paid to find new business. We have to find new business. We have to generate revenue for the company. And in order to do that, you have to mass call everyone, you know, that at least that meets the criteria of the clients you're going to be prospecting. And, you know, the way I want to break it up is I will spend at least 2 to 3 hours a day sourcing leads on the weekends as well, just so I can have a plethora of leads to cold call and really farm that relationship with the people that I'm talking, so that eventually when they're ready to close, then they're closing with me. So I feel like people try to make it hard. A no is not the end of the world. There's going to be somebody out there that will say yes. So you got to go through all of those no's to get to that yes. And, if you want to make a lot of money, you're going to have to go through so many no's to get to that yes. And as you're building the reps in, you're going to be able to handle those objections. So you don't have to talk to as many people, but you're still getting the same amount of yeses. So you're becoming more efficient at the end of the day.
That's powerful stuff there. Well said. It's certainly a philosophy that I've adopted. It's all about effort. I don't need to be better than anyone. I just need to show up and just make the call, and the rest will take care of itself. And to your point, we're always one call away from changing everything.
Literally.
We're one application to a company away from changing everything and getting hired.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, boom, you have what you want. And then you're thinking, is that what it was supposed to feel like? What's next?
What's next? And
I
I really aspire to be as good as you are, Trent, because I've been following your journey, and I love the content you put out. You really keep you really keep me motivated. If anyone is needing motivational and skills and everything, you need to go on Trent's YouTube channel. You got all the sauce.
There's Yeah, I was like, if you don't plug me at the end, you're going to pull the security guard out and do that. But no, I appreciate that. You got any fun security guard stories to wrap us up here?
It's crazy. I did my course careers while I was working as a security guard. So during my 8-hour shift, I would typically do a mobile patrol. I bought an iPad so I could literally do the course while I was at work. And then I put in my 2 weeks as soon as I got that tech sales offer. And yeah, it was up from there. And, it happened so fast. It still feels like, it still doesn't feel real. It's been 1 week since I'm officially in the office. It doesn't feel real, but we're here. And if it wasn't for course careers and taking that leap of faith and believing, there's a job out there for me, I wouldn't be here. You got to take that leap of faith.
Well, that's amazing, Dara. Thank you so much for showing up today and sharing your story. I imagine there's going to be someone out there that's going to be patrolling. It's going to be in a warehouse, working at McDonald's, doing something they don't want to be doing. They're going to be listening to this interview. They're going to say, okay, I can do it too. Boom. And then they start taking action. Right.
Thank you so much, Trent.
Yeah, no, thank you for being here. Anyone that wants to check out the free tech sales intro course, we'll link it below. We'll link down Dara if you want to check her out on LinkedIn. And have a great rest of the day, everyone. Bye.
You too, Trent.
Yeah, see you, Dara.
Bye.